Do you remember Geno Smith was once upon a time asked about being written off? Mm-hmm. Remember, he said that he never wrote back. Yeah. That was a very famous line.
Yeah,
Did he say that to Lisa Salters after a game?
Monday night game.
They wrote me off, but I never wrote back. And I'm like, that is the greatest thing. I need to steal that. That's my first thing that I thought.
Well, you're Vanilla Woods. You can do that.
Well, thank you so much. For those who don't know what you're referring to, I ask you to stop.
Wow.
But Christian McCaffrey, I think, is coming on for at any rate. Long story short. Sam Darnold is another quarterback that the Seattle Seahawks now have that's been written off. And he was asked in his final media availability of the week about being written off.
I think it doesn't really come down to that for me. It's always just been about putting in the hard work every single day. And sometimes hard work and all the dedication and hours I've put in the off season, during the season, that just, it leads to this moment, and that's kind of the mindset I have and really the mindset I've had my entire career.
And for those who think that might be a line, don't forget Jordan Palmer, our quarterback guru here, who knows Sam Darnold well and has been around Sam for quite some time, obviously, from back in the day in high school. And obviously his brother is a USC alum who is trying to do what Sam Darnold has become, which is the first USC quarterback in a Super Bowl. Jordan told us that Sam is internally motivated, not externally motivated. Meaning when he sits here and says, that really doesn't matter to me about people having written me off. It's all about my hard work and my dedication and what I know that I have to do in order to be a good quarterback. That kind of dovetails into what, we're all trying to, that's why I always joke that we're weaving a tapestry here, that we have guests on talking about somebody, and then suddenly it's a storyline that we can actually pull a soundbite from that. For Kevin O'Connell talking about in Minnesota that he thinks that organizations fail young quarterbacks before young quarterbacks fail organizations, and that may be a reason why he's sticking with J.J. McCarthy. We're not going to, drop the young kid that we drafted. And so Sam Darnold, we're going to offer something to him, but it's not going to be maybe what he wants outside of the finances, which is it's your team. And he goes to Seattle where it's his team, and look what he's done with it. You put it all together, and it all kind of makes sense if you think about it.
Yeah.
I really like Sam Darnold. It really would have been easy for him to just kind of pack it up after the failed Jets, and he failed in Carolina. It would have been easy to just kind of go away and be a backup quarterback, and that would have been his career. It would have been fine. He would have stayed in the league a long time. But to keep grinding and to have the success in Minnesota, have them kind of say, you know what, we're going to go in this direction. And, a lot of people weren't sure how Seattle was going to go. His contract had they could have got out of it after 1 year if it didn't go bad. And now they're in the Super Bowl, man. It's hard not to root for this guy.
And, it's interesting that you got to be careful on terming somebody a failed quarterback, and for you to actually use that word, having seen Baker Mayfield down the street getting a coffee today. Exactly. I mean, be careful how you, but in all seriousness, the Jets failed him. Listen,
sure.
You draft him, and if I had to put if we had the finger of blame here,
I thought about that. Man.
Carolina also. He did start 3-0 when he went to Carolina. Who do we have on recently? Well, we had Adam Thielen talking about it on NFL Network, saying how he started 3-0 and everybody was seeing what he could do in that offense. Oh, Joe Brady also mentioned that when he came on as the new head coach of the Buffalo Bills, because he was the offensive coordinator when Sam Darnold showed up in Carolina. That's who was talking about it as well, is that he showed up in 3-0 in Carolina. And we were even joking on our show, like MVP Sam Darnold, joking like he could never be the MVP. That literally was what we were talking about. That was the subtext of our commentary. And sure enough, lo and behold, look who could be the MVP of the Super Bowl and go on some sort of a run. But, Adam Gase clearly wasn't the right man for the moment in New York. And then in comes Robert Saleh with a second overall pick. And we're not going to stick with Sam Darnold here. We're not going to go through the seeing ghosts growing pains. If we're going to go through any growing pains, let's draft somebody second overall. They draft Zach Wilson, and off goes Sam Darnold. We saw what happened in Carolina. Out goes Matt Rule. Then he goes to San Francisco. So I would just say that organizations failed this guy, and he was also part and parcel as to why an organization might feel like it's time to move on. But now here he is in his 5th team. Drake Maye, we all know, another 3rd overall pick. And that's what we talked about with Kurt Warner before, right? How awesome is it that they're both 3rd overall picks? One hits it, but not right away. Did need a coaching change for Drake Maye, not just for Vrabel, but Josh McDaniels being the one in his ear and in the meeting rooms. And now here he is going into the Super Bowl in year 2. And this is what he had to say about other quarterbacks, veterans who have reached out or he's picked brains of getting ready for this big moment.
Yeah, I think Coach McDaniels has probably been the best with, experience in that, coaching so many quarterbacks, really just one quarterback in this game for so long, and just knowing, the emotions of even just running out there the first time and how much how cool the moment is, but at the same time how much you're like, man, this is it. This is what we're here for. Like I said before in here, Peyton's reached out to me after, Denver and had some good tips about trying to keep some of my rhythm, my schedule the same, but really other than that, just trying to do whatever I can. One more time, one more week. We have 2 weeks of prep and got a couple days here now to do whatever I can this time to kind of fine tune the things and kind of dot the I's, cross the T's, and get ready for the game.
If I ever told you Peyton Manning would be reaching out to a New England Patriot quarterback to give some advice to before, would you have said? You know what I mean?
Yeah, did a warm place get cold all of a sudden?
It's pretty cool, though.
Yeah, it is.
Pretty damn cool. And again, it's amazing. 1/3 overall pick is clearly the guy for an AFC East team. And 1/3 overall pick for an AFC East team isn't the guy right away. And now they're both in Super Bowl 60.
Hey, you made it all the way to the end. Thanks for that. Check us out every single day streaming live on Disney Plus and the ESPN app 12 to 3 Eastern.